Okay, now we're going to practice dividing by 10, 100, and 1,000 using our place value chart. So I'm going to start with the number 345. I've already placed it on my place value chart. When we're looking at the number 345, there's no decimal point. When you do not see a decimal point, that tells you that it's a whole number. The decimal point is actually at the end. It's always there. Just when we're dealing with whole numbers, we usually just don't write it. So on my decimal point, on my place value chart, here's my decimal point. We're going to divide by 10. Notice that there is only 1 0 in the number 10. So hopefully you're realizing that we're going to move one place. Now the difference between multiplying and dividing is when we are dividing, the numbers are actually going to be getting smaller in value. They're going to be getting smaller because I'm going to take 345 and divide it into 10 groups. And the answer is going to be what's in each group. And so instead of our digits moving to the left on our place value chart, our digits are going to move to the right on our place value chart. So I'm going to start with my 5. If I take 5 ones and divide it by 10, move it one place on my place value chart, my 5 will end up in the 10th place. 5 ones divided by 10 is equal to 5 tenths. 4 tens divided by 10 is equal to 4 ones. Move one place to the right on my place value chart. 3 hundreds divided by 10 is equal to 3 tens. Now my decimal point is in between my 4 and my 5. So my answer, 345 divided by 10 is equal to 34 and 5 tenths. Let's look what happened to our decimal point. My decimal point started at the very end. And look what happened. The decimal point actually moved one place to the left. So when you're dividing, your digits are going to move to the right on your place value chart, and your decimal point will move to the left. Your digits move to the right. Your decimal point moves the opposite direction to the left. Let's try another example. Let's take our same starting number, 345, and divide it by 100 now. Notice there are 2 zeros. This tells us that we're going to move 2 places on our place value chart. So I'm going to move, starting with the same number, my 5 ones divided by 100 is going to move 1, 2, 2 places. The 5 ends up in the hundredths place. 4 divided by 100. The 4 ends up in the tenths place. 3 divided by 100. The 3 is going to move 1, 2 places, and it'll end up in the ones. And now my decimal point is in between my 3 and my 4. So 345 divided by 100 is equal to 3 and 45 hundredths. Let's look what happened to our decimal point. The decimal point originally was at the end after the 5, and the digits move to the right. Your numbers are moving to the right on your place value chart, but your decimal point actually moves to the left. 1, 2. It ended up 2 places to the left. 2 zeros and 100. The digits moved 2 places to the right on your place value chart, or you can say your decimal point moved 2 places to the left. One more example. Start with 345, and this time, let's divide it by 1,000. 3 zeros. Hopefully you guys are already noticing the fact that now we're going to move 3 places. So 5 ones divided by 1,000 is going to tell us that we're going to move our 5 3 places. 1, 2, 3 divided by 1,000. My 5 ends up in the thousandths place. 4 divided by 1,000 moves 1, 2, 3. 3 divided by 1,000. 1, 2, 3. Oops, I wrote 100 there. So now my decimal point is in front of the 3. 3 divided by 1,000 is equal to 3 tenths. So 345 divided by 1,000 is equal to 345 thousandths. Look what happened to your decimal point. It started at the beginning in behind the number 5, and then we moved it 1, 2, 3 places. Your digits are moving to the right because they're getting smaller in value, and your decimal point is moving to the left. I also did want to point this out. You are going to see this. There are 2 ways to show that you are dividing by 10, or you are dividing by 100, or you are dividing by 1,000. When we divide by 10, another way that you can see this is you might see 1/10 of. So you might see 345 times 1/10. Times 1/10 is the same as divide by 10. Because the reason we say that, the reason is because 1/10 of is the same thing as divide by 10. If I was dividing by 10, my 5 would move 1 place. And here's the reason. We could say 1/10 of. This 5 in the 10th place is 1/10 of this 5. This 4, when we divide by 10, ends up here in the ones place. That means this 4 in the ones place is 1/10 of the 4 in the tens place. If you think about $40, if I divide it by 10, that means there's going to be 40 divided by 10 is equal to 4. So $4 is 1/10 of the total, which is 40. Same with the 3. When I divide by 10, this 3 goes from the hundreds to the tens. So this 3 in the tens place is 1/10 of this 3 in the hundreds place. So when you see 1/10 of, that's the same thing as dividing by 10. Just keep that in mind because you will see that and you will hear that.